This is the Mahindra XEV 9e, but first let's unwrap it. Unwrapping done, now let's start with the walk around of this Mahindra XEV 9e. This car is so advanced that it has got 5 radars, 5 cameras, 12 ultrasonic sensors and whatnot. In fact, you won't believe it, you can move the car remotely with this key. That's right, I keep this button pressed for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to turn on the car. There the mirror opens and obviously the car will turn on to cool it obviously, and then I can use either of these buttons to move the car ahead and behind. The electric parking brake shut. Okay, I'm moving it in the wrong direction. It will go into the gutter. Yeah, there is a ditch behind. So yeah, that was a wrong move. Let me try and move this ahead. It's showing me the indicator and there it is moving. Yes, there's absolutely nobody in the car. It only moves by up to 7 meters, so that in case you park the car in a place wherein you can't get in easily, you can use this feature to move the car ahead and behind. Yes, you can move the car ahead and behind. Isn't that super duper awesome? In fact, this is the key of the vehicle, which is obviously a new key. Lock the car, unlock the car, open the trunk, and this is to turn on the air conditioning of the vehicle. And these buttons, which don't have a significant thing on it because there's nothing marked properly, I mean I can see arrows here, is to move the car ahead and behind. I don't know why they have a new key, but the new key definitely looks way more sustainable when compared to before. But before we start, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve One French Wood. It's not your regular car fragrance, which is like just the regular one. This one is actually a blended fragrance, yeah, of fine body perfumes, because of which the smell is just awesome. It brings instant freshness in the car, especially in SUVs like this, because this is a big SUV, so it needs a lot of good smell on the inside. Super easy to regulate. It does not leak at all, and you can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click on the top right corner of the screen right now. Now straight away, let's come to this car because there's so much to talk about it, because this is electric origin, which is basically born electric. Let's get inside. Yeah, it has an NFC key as well, NFC card. That is, air conditioning is on because I turned it on using the key. Now I turned off because I got inside. Let's turn this vehicle on, and it doesn't roar to life. No sound at all. It's so silent. Let me open this blind as well of the sunroof. Not a sunroof, it's a moonroof, because obviously this glass is fixed. It does not open at all. And if you notice now, I think it has some Mahindra logos here. Now the sun is so bright, I can't really see it, but yeah, there's some sort of trickery there as well. Air conditioning has to be turned off, which means I get into this menu, and if I press it from here now, it doesn't work at all. So yeah, the buttons could be slightly better, but I will make it full screen here and shut the air conditioning. I'm going to give this indicator to the right side, turn on the lights, open the front as well, and show you why this car is so interesting. Obviously it's a little horny as well. Let's open the front. There is good amount of storage space here because this is born electric. Obviously there's a light here. I can pull this out. I don't know what that is, but I'll just put it back in as if nothing ever happened here. So yeah, that is screwed back. That's a good thing. There's insulation here. It doesn't need insulation, but still has it. And there's some numbers written right there. Washer fluid goes in right here. Front maximum load capacity 60 kgs. Yeah, 60 kgs can be put here. Let's shut this. The design is actually very much like Mahindra's XUV 700. I mean, it sort of evolves from there because the DRLs are like that. It has this welcome and goodbye animation both at the front as well as the rear. Because this is an electric car, the grille is completely shut. It has this nice treatment to it. You can play some sound as well. There's a front parking camera, the Mahindra logo for electric cars, which is obviously different. That is the radar right there, because this car has a lot of crazy stuff happening. The indicator is actually dynamic swipe, otherwise this is the DRL, which extends all the way. The main lights are here. It is on low beam, so when you turn this on, I mean the high beam, when you turn it on, obviously you can see that as well. Lot of design treatment almost everywhere. There's obviously a camera here on the top, which is for the lane keep assist. There's a rain sensor as well. In fact, it also has this logo which says Solar Acoustic AR HUD ADAS. So this windscreen actually is heat resistant. that is the camouflaged car. The car is actually big. This is actually a very big car, but from the rear it kind of looks like the Tata Curve because this is a coupe SUV. What is the length? Almost 4.8 meters. What is the wheelbase? Almost 2.8 meters. So yes, it is longer when compared to the XEV 700, both in terms of length as well as wheelbase, which is quite good. These are 19-inch tires. You have the option of getting 20 inches as well. The tire size happens to be 245, 55, 19. I don't like the design of the alloy wheels. It gets semi-active suspension, gets this body molding throughout, which is finished in gloss black. Gets 6 parking sensors at the front. The hood has shut. No, it hasn't shut. So you have to give it a push. And then the car becomes a bit horny. There's obviously a camera here. Door handles pop in and out. Inglo is the new platform here. And to access the rear doors, the door handles are actually hidden because aerodynamics is the name of the game here. It feels a bit bulky from this area. At the rear, definitely it looks quite unique. In fact, the dynamic swipe indicators are working at the moment, which look quite nice. And the design is something which will definitely attract a lot of attention. 6 sensors. The rear has been lifted from here, so you can see the underbody right there. Look at that suspension. The rear parking camera is here. It says XEV 9e. Obviously the Mahindra logo. New rear wiper washer here because coupe na, so it will push out all the water easily because of the speeds you do. And there's a shark fin antenna, sort of a rear spoiler treatment. It gets a power tailgate. I press a button and there it raises. Come on, raise, open. Okay, press it again and there it opens. So boot is decent sized here. You get a parcel shelf which, when opened, really restricts the amount of stuff you can put inside this car. Below here you've got the charging cable, obviously. A spare wheel which is 195 80 18, not full size, not an alloy either. I think this is the charging cable. It's a nice bag, yeah. Quite cool. Let me open this. There is a charging cable. So 11 kilowatt AC charger, I believe. And you have a hook here which will take a maximum weight of 3 kgs. There's a light here. There's a 12 volt charging socket, another light, and if I pull it, the seat reclines, which is 40/60 format. Let me shut this by pressing a button. Power tailgate, obviously. Oh god, I didn't shut that properly. No. Yeah, that didn't shut, so the car did not shut properly. Why is this not closing only? Okay, I think this thing has come up from here, so I need to push it from here. In fact, there are hooks here, so you can secure your luggage if you so wish. Now it's shut. Now this will obviously shut properly. Yeah, that's fast actually. So where are the reverse lights? I think these are the reverse lights here. And the car being horny is obviously honking a lot right now. Let's get into the rear. And the doors actually open 90 degrees. Yeah, really wide opening doors. That's impressive. Let me put this seat up. This is upright. I can further recline it using this switch right there, the lever. And now I've reclined the seat completely. So that is obviously for added comfort. Someone is giving it the beans. I can't see the car because it's on the last lane. So because of the banking, I really can't see it. Beige colored seats. You can see door pockets are big enough at the rear. And you have a sun blind as well, which is an amazing thing because obviously this is aimed at being sort of luxurious and it has all the features which you would expect from a luxury car. Harman Kardon speakers. This is a different color treatment here completely. Space is not that good here, yeah. There's not much space, but I have the boss mode, so I can push the seat ahead to get a lot more space, which is amazing. Under thigh support is decent. Headroom is actually good enough, and there's a hook, a handle, and a light placement here on the top. Height adjustable seat belts. You have a 65 watt fast charger USB-C and a socket so that you can mount your tablet as well. You have magazine holders, scooped out seat back, same is the case on that side as well. There's a wireless charging pad at the rear, no AC controls at the rear, but you get rear AC vents right here. And obviously you get a center armrest with twin cup holders as well. Massive glass roof, yeah, that's amazing. Brings in a lot of light, which is quite nice. And the dashboard is massive because it has got 3 freaking screens. Yeah, 3 screens. That's a lot of screens. Getting in and out is not difficult at all because you sort of walk in and out of the cabin. And center passenger obviously definitely gets a head as well. Proper headrest there for the center passenger. It keeps making this sound all the time. Let me push the seat behind. This seat is manually adjustable, completely manually adjustable. The Mahindra logo on the mat as well. The glove box is decent size but does not get the cooling function, and there's a shelf on the top. There's a DVR plug here, which is a USB-A. So you can download footage from the car because it does shoot a lot. There's a camera there, and this thing obviously extends. I had removed this. How did this come back? Yeah, I'd removed all these plastic sheets, but somehow they have come back. So this extends, which is amazing, and you can open it from here because there's a mirror. There's a lot of steps to actually see the mirror, so I'll just pass. Yeah, you have lights there as well. There is a tweeter right there. Let me put this inside. Now there are 3 screens in this car. Isn't that a lot? So let me first remove the massive plastic on the screen. What is the size of the screen? 12.3 inch, 12.3 inch, another 12.3 inch. That is a lot of screen real estate. So what is this exactly? This is for the passenger, and the good thing is he has got 4 apps mainly. So when you get into this, there's gallery, media, there's a browser, there's fun and work. Here you can obviously see a movie as well. Yeah, it only works for this particular screen, and it also comes on this screen. Actually, this is also replicated here. However, this is not really visible to the driver, and once the car moves, this thing doesn't work, the YouTube and all. So there's YouTube, Amazon Prime, Disney Hotstar, every app you can think of, it's there. In fact, there's Blinkit, there's Myntra, Nykaa. What is this? Having WhatsApp, Messenger, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it, all the freaking apps are there. So you can also obviously play games if you want. This is super duper loaded. Yeah, you can watch YouTube. Isn't that super duper awesome and amazing as well? But here's how to identify this car as a Curve EV and not as a Punch EV or a Nexon EV from the front end. Like I told you, it's loaded. This is auto dimming, obviously. This is the control for the sunroof. These are the controls for the lights here. And the seats actually have this sort of a metal on it. Comfortable seats. Here, the center armrest actually has a cooling function on the inside. Yeah, there's a cooling function. This is very similar to the XEV 700. This is to keep the key of the vehicle. This slides ahead and behind. Twin cup holders here. This is a rotary knob so that you can control this particular screen. There's some storage space here for the phone and a wireless charging pad. 2 USB-C charging sockets. In fact, auto closing doors as well. Because of the wind, the doors are closing actually. So wireless charging pad, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity, obviously wireless. But because this is piano black, this is obviously a fingerprint magnet, but seems a bit familiar to the XUV 700. So yeah, they have obviously carried forward a lot of parts. Umbrella holder has been given, but the front doors also open 90 degrees, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah, and then the car starts honking obviously because it realizes that the key is not inside. The key is with me in my pocket right now. So the car doesn't like that. So I'm just going to put the key inside. And there's a proper place also for the key, which I showed you obviously is right inside here. So you can just keep the key there. Let me position this properly and shut it. Now if you notice, another thing is the seat is similar or familiar to the XUV 700. Electric adjust, very Mercedes like. 3 memory settings as well. They made changes to the switch gear, which is a bit different to operate. Yeah, it feels quite funky to operate now. Door pockets are big at the front. Is that the Mahindra logo on the brake pedal? There's a proper dead pedal. Lot of buttons here before that. Let me put this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses right here in the center. Yeah, it fits in right in place. It does not move at all. What are these buttons? Traction control button, heads up display, power tailgate, downhill assist, parking sensors, and this is for the charging port. This is the headlight leveler. Where's the charging port? It's so camouflaged, you don't see it. The charging port is actually here. Yeah, that's right. I press it, it will open, and there it is, the charging port. So sleek, so nice, and so not closing right now, but so well integrated into the body that you don't realize only its presence. So that's a job well done by Mahindra. The dashboard actually looks massive thanks to the amazing screens here. Quality of the screens is nice. There's a heads up display. It has an AR mode as well. Gives you so much information. It is absolutely crazy. And this is the new instrument cluster, which has a lot of information. So there are basically 4 menus. There's focus, there's drive assist, there's navigation, there's analytics. So it basically gives you a lot of information about your trip, various data, energy consumption, and power flow. Then in focus, you obviously are able to see about the speedometer and all those things. In drive assist, you see the various drive assist mode. Here the funny thing is, at times when there's a motorcycle around, it vanishes automatically. A bus comes in automatically, a bike goes onto a motorcycle, goes into a bus, and all those things weirdly happen. So this needs to be fine-tuned. But the steering actually feels light. It has no flat bottom treatment. It's a 2-spoke steering wheel. It's easy to use. There are multiple switches. This is for the regen. Yeah, this is to reduce the regen, this is to increase the regen, this is for one pedal driving, and this is for the boost mode. They have given the same panel as Tata Motors now, which we have criticized with Tata Motors. So I will have to criticize it for Mahindra as well, because although this doesn't have misaligned panels, when you try to press any of these buttons now, so like I'm pressing this button, the horn tends to ring. You're not trying to horn or honk, but it tends to ring. So this is to go into the menu. This is for adaptive cruise control. This is for linky buses, and this is to decide what is the distance you want to maintain with the car ahead. This is for the mode, obviously. This happens to be for the volume. So yeah, it's actually easy to use. Let me come into this. So they don't have a physical button for the seat ventilation. You have to do it from here only, which is a bit cumbersome to operate. There's so many things here. It is absolutely confusing. Something known as performance, wherein you can time your car. There's an off-road mode here which shows you various data. There's so much. Trust me on this, it's very confusing. The 360-degree parking camera is quite awesome, and because this car can obviously remotely be moved ahead and behind, it has also got the self-park function, so you can decide if you want to drive out or drive in. Yeah, it makes parking so easy. Wow, 360-degree parking camera and auto park in a Mahindra car. Auto park is actually the big deal. Screen could be a bit slick in terms of operation. It's not the slickest to operate. There's ambient lighting as well, which has got multiple colors, and depending on the various modes, the color will obviously change, and you can obviously customize it. There are a lot of colors here for customization as well. The sky's the limit. This car is all about technology. In fact, there's something known as live your mood, which you can change, and when you change it, it will make changes to the air conditioning, to the seat, to the sun blind. In fact, it also changes the music. So when I play it, it's going to play some song. Obviously, it's adjusting all these parameters, and the song has been fine-tuned, or the mood or the whatever sounds have been fine-tuned by A.R. Rahman. It also changes the cluster. Yeah, that's right, it changes the cluster. So it has got a cozy mode. It has also got a club mode. So I'm just going to come into cozy. There you see the instrument cluster will also change immediately. It's taking some time. There it's changing. The seat is moving down. It has the welcome and goodbye mode as well. Isn't this a very GTA type animation? Yeah, it's actually very cool. So let's come into the club mode and let me play this club mode thing. I think they will have a relaxation mode as well later. Yeah, it's a bit too fast to browse. So this thing still needs to be fine-tuned a bit, because at times it's not the easiest to operate. There, the seat is going back. Signature sounds. Let's come into the. I played the club mode. How did I end up in the cozy mode? Like I was telling you, things could be slightly better in terms of how fluid they work, and the problem is there are no physical buttons, which means to operate the air conditioning, I have to press this button, and then the air conditioning opens, and then I have to press this button, and then I have to shut the air conditioning from here. It's obviously a dual zone climate control air conditioning system. Just shut right now. Yeah, that's done. So this lever is extremely important. Electric parking brake, auto hold function, and this is the gas selector. They've used this sort of a green color on the dashboard as well, and then they have this beige, there's this green. So there are a lot of color mixes happening here, which it obviously depends on what is your kind of taste. And the steering is adjustable both for reach as well as rake. Harman Kardon sound system. Yeah, that's actually amazing. And I'm telling you, it will take me an hour just to explain this whole system to you, because it is loaded with a lot of stuff. That fun and work thing is here also on the screen, so you can access YouTube, you can watch a movie, you can do a lot of things from here. Yeah, that's quite cool. They have games as well, which have to be downloaded. There's just one game right now, but you can download Tetris if you want and play that as well. Easy to browse screen, lot of menus, so can get a bit confusing here, but there is the Vision X heads-up display, which when turned on, you can decide what all you want to see in terms of the content. So I'm just going to come into the AR view. It's actually very impressive how it works. Yeah, state-of-the-art heads-up display. I hope it works reliably, because that's a feature coming to an Indian car is a proud moment. But this is obviously an electric car, so there have to be some gimmicks here. Let me turn this on right now. Yes, allow. And that is the selfie camera, because there's a camera here. So selfie camera is there. This is actually for the driver and occupant monitoring for safety reasons. This is also there. You can decide filters as well. You can record videos. Yeah, electric cars have a lot of stuff which can be a bit pointless. But then how do they differentiate the car? Because now engine is no longer a parameter to differentiate. There's a wallet. I don't know for what. Groove Me is for, I think, the music system. Enjoy the show with light and music. Oh my god. This is like a Tesla. They have copied this from a Tesla. I can't believe it. Okay, turn it on in the next 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Come on. Meanwhile, another car is being tested there. The light show has not yet started. Is that a little weird? Did not get activated. I think it did get activated. Me exiting the car has turned that system off, or what? No, it shouldn't have happened. Okay, it's saying show in progress. Step out of the vehicle and enjoy the show. So I'm telling you one thing. The issue is that although this has a very fast processor, things are still not yet aligned. It will take some time for the technology to catch up, because the computing power is there. Things need to be ironed out in terms of the smoothness. Maybe I might just manage to shoot this and put a B-roll. Meanwhile, there are multiple buttons here. This is turn off the screen, hazard light. This is turn on the camera. This is for the self-park function, and this is to make the car make sounds so that pedestrians are aware that you are coming. The only problem is this is very touch sensitive sort of, so it doesn't really work that smoothly. And this is the start stop button, which is obviously hidden away. It gets automatic wipers. It also gets automatic headlights. Obviously, it shows check tire direction, because that's such a Mahindra thing to have. So yeah, it's loaded. And how? But how is it to drive? Let's start driving right away. Okay, it's time to start driving, which means we turn on the car. Come on, there's no sound to tell you that the car is turned on or not. Let me straight away come into the air conditioning system. It makes this sound, welcome sound, and all those sounds are obviously there. Yeah, everything is so touchscreen reliant. It's a bit frustrating. They should have had some physical buttons because getting to the air conditioning is a bit of a problem. Okay, let me turn off the light so that I can see things more clearly. Let me turn off the everything, like everything. So many things here. You know, you have a pet mode as well, a cam mode too, that varies the air conditioning. It varies a lot of stuff depending on which mode you are in, which is quite cool. And straight away, I am actually going to come into, I don't know what to come into. We just come into the performance part, off-road menu, and off we go. Yeah, now we are into drive mode. I forgot to select the drive mode here. So we are actually going to, oh God, I selected the air conditioning by mistake. So this is the drive mode of the car. We are in everyday right now, which obviously is a mix of eco and comfort, I would say. So rather you can call it just comfort. It's a mix of eco and sport. Performance is very linear here. The engine is, there's no engine actually. The motor is extremely smooth and refined, and obviously has this fake sound as well because it has to have some sound on the inside, right? Meanwhile, there is some sound coming from the wheels, the tires, the wind noise is there, the tire noise is there, but very less. So insulation levels are actually phenomenal here. The car does feel quite silent and smooth, which is such a good thing. It doesn't have the kick in the pants feel which you expect out of electric cars. So I think they've intentionally tuned it to be very, very, very linear so that it doesn't oversteer, because this is putting all the power and torque to the rear wheels. And talking about power, this one produces 281 horsepower because this is having the 79 kilowatt hour battery pack. So I think there are 8 modules. The smaller battery pack is having 6 modules, so that is 59 kilowatt hour. And it's time to do the 0 to 100 kilometer per hour acceleration test. So left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. We come into race mode. Obviously it says preparing for race mode. I don't know why it takes so much time to prepare. It doesn't need to do that, and I don't have anything to see here. So left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. That's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.88 seconds. Brakes are also quite good here. Brake by wire, rear collision warning function is unavailable. Let's test the ride quality of this car. Okay, something cruise control is disabled right now. I don't know why. But anyways, 6.88 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is fast. Yeah, it is fast. So the smaller 59 kilowatt hour battery pack is having 227 horsepower. So essentially the hardware remains more or less the same, but I think they have restricted the amount of power the motor puts out because the battery is smaller. Obviously you pay more, you get more. That is the funda. The ride is actually very impressive. It has got semi-active suspension, because of which the ride is actually very nice. Obviously you can hear a bit of the suspension noise, but they have done a phenomenal job in terms of the way the ride quality of this car has been done. I'm going to change the drive mode. I'm going to come into the range mode, which restricts the top speed as well. So what do these modes do? There's a range mode, there's everyday, which is like the normal drive mode. Range is obviously eco drive mode. There's race mode, which kind of not needed in an electric car, but since this is a performance car as far as Indian cars go, a race mode is actually good. And there's a snow mode as well, so you can decide whether you want to be in street mode or you want to be in snow mode. Snow mode, I don't know how it's going to work with just rear wheel drive, because rear wheel drive is the biggest enemy of snow driving, because then the car will obviously oversteer. And now I think we shall just go towards the high speed track. I know you see a lot of other Mahindra cars standing here because we are obviously going to start driving at full throttle. Yes, I'm going to give this car the beans. Before that, let me come into the drive mode. Let me come into the race drive mode, obviously, because that is the one I like the most. And I'm going to change this menu here because we can obviously see other things as well. So should we put it into drive assist? Probably. There we go. Drive assist. Into drive mode, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. I'm going to be timing this car. Before that, I want to come into a different mode here because there's a performance mode, which unfortunately doesn't tell me anything unless and until I obviously turn this stopwatch on. So we'll turn it on for the sake of it because power and torque meters are there. I don't know if you can see it. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Look at stuff which is coming in the cluster. Very, very, very cool, huh? Let's use the wipers quickly. Okay, wiper test has happened. Let me come into another lane here. I love the blind view monitor. It is so freaking cool the way it has been done. It's not circle, it's a square sort of a thing. 6.92 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which isn't bad at all. So in terms of high-speed stability is amazing. The heads-up display is awesome as well, and the steering is quite responsive. It is a little loose in the center position, but weighs up better. It becomes tighter as you twirl it. It has been done intentionally so that when you're driving dynamically, you get better traction, obviously. And here we are going full throttle. Let's see what top speed we can do. Yeah, you can hear a bit of the wind noise, obviously. Naturally, that's a given. And that is 198, 99, 201, yeah, 202. Yeah, that's it. It's locked at that speed. It won't go beyond 202 kilometers per hour. So real world, I think you should have seen the number here on my GPS, or rather specialist timing here. The handling is very impressive somehow. It doesn't feel the weight. It is a heavy car. You don't feel the weight at all. I'm quite surprised you don't feel the weight of this car, because it is heavy but doesn't feel that heavy. It is also because it has got a lot of tech here and there. So firstly, it has got brake-by-wire. Braking performance is actually good. Brakes feel a bit too abrupt and too sharp initially, unless and until you get used to it. And once you get used to it, then only you're able to modulate them better. Otherwise, for the most part, you're like, the brakes are a bit too sharp. There's a warning which is coming past 120 kilometers per hour. It's a very faint sound of tick, 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 tick. Yeah, there are 4 lanes there. Why is it showing me 3 lanes? That's kind of confusing. Anyways, so the performance is good because this car has 280 horsepower, 281 horsepower, 380 Newton meters of torque. 380 Newton meters of torque isn't that much for something which is having 281 horsepower. So torque output could be better, but I think they have intentionally restricted that because power is going to the rear wheels. There should be a all-wheel drive version in the future with a front motor as well, producing crazy power figures. This is the fastest SUV in India. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour sub 7 seconds is easily a couple of seconds faster than Mahindra's own XUV 700, which produces around 200 horsepower for the petrol and guzzles all the fuel in the world. This is relatively more efficient, obviously, because aero efficiency has been worked upon. It's heavy. It weighs more than 2,000 kgs, and surprisingly, like I've been telling again and again, you don't feel the weight at all because the way they have managed to curtail the weight, the way they have tweaked the steering and tuned it beautifully well, and the suspension is the real highlight here because the ride is good because of the suspension. Ride is actually very good because of the suspension. Even on the worst of roads, now this car does a great job. In fact, the handling is also quite good. Body roll is very well contained. And as far as electric cars go, this is both engaging to drive in terms of the handling and obviously fast, but there is no sound. So, I mean, no natural sound, obviously. So it's not very engaging in that regard. Charging times, it can charge quite fast. If you get a fast charger that is 175 kilowatt DC, it can charge from 20 to 80% in 20 minutes only. Getting that is not difficult. It's close to impossible. Yeah, you cannot get that, but it's having a LFP battery. That's the reason it's able to maintain high-speed charging for a longer duration of time. So they've really thought things through, and then all the technology, everything inside is actually very nicely done. Okay, you can also choose tracks here. I'm just going to choose MSPT and confirm that. Yeah, now it's showing me the MSPT track. It's actually accurate. It's telling me where exactly I am. I'm hoping so. Yeah, it's telling me. It's just so cool. This is an SUV, an electric SUV, which trying to pretend to be a sports car. But trust me on this car is a huge leap for Mahindra in terms of what all they have managed to do with something which is definitely oriented towards pushing the boundaries of technology. Obviously, Mahindra cars have a lot of features, but this car, along with features, is also having a lot of tech. Okay, at this speed, if I honk, anyone can hear me? Can you hear the honk? On is okay. Let me quickly change the menu button. Oh, I just lifted off and we missed hitting 200 kilometers per hour. Let me come into the navigation menu. Let's see if you can see that. There's a bit of nosedive under heavy braking. So with the semi-active suspension, the ride is actually dramatically better here. And obviously Mahindra has been improving the ride quality of its cars since some time now, because they have been going and getting watts linkage and stuff. And because this is a born electric vehicle, which Mahindra likes to call as electric origin, it has been designed grounds up to be extremely safe while being extremely dynamic, and the turning radius is less than the 700. How is that even possible? It's simply possible because for crash test, right, this car doesn't have to accommodate an engine at the front, so the bars are closer here, thereby leaving space on the outside, thereby letting the steering turn faster and easier and more as well, and thus the turning radius is also quite less at around 5 meters, which is actually very amazing. So it's easy to drive, it's actually very fast, and all now boils down to how fast it can charge with the regular charger, because I think it comes with an 11 kilowatt AC onboard charger, and then usually we end up using a 25 or a 50 or a 60 kilowatt DC fast charger at local charging points, which splits into half if there's a Tata car which parks next to you and starts charging as well. So in terms of charging speeds, that would be around an hour or 70 minutes using the regular DC fast chargers available. Let's see what speed it does here. Full throttle, come on, show me what you got. There it's showing me it's going full power, but why is it not consuming all the torque? It has 380 Newton meters of torque. Where is the 380 Newton meters of torque? Will it hit 200 here? I hope so. Yeah, accurate. Speedo error seems very less. I'm quite surprised. I was expecting it to have a lot of speedo error. So as I see it, this XEV 90 is a very impressive car. Big in size, big in terms of features, in terms of pricing. This will definitely compete with the upcoming Harrier EV. But Mahindra has done a fab job, so Tata really needs to push the boundaries in terms of offering a lot more features when compared to Mahindra, or doing something really hatke, because even though Mahindra is late to the party, boy oh boy, they have created an absolute amazing car here. It is a feature-loaded vehicle, and the way they are going, we can confidently say that this is sort of the Desi Tesla. Yeah, this is our Desi Tesla. Now somebody have the balls to make a Cybertruck as well. And on that huge expectation, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Let me know what do you think would be the sales of this car, considering for the price of this car you can get the Scorpio and you can get the XEV 700. You can obviously get the Harrier, you can get the Safari, you can get a lot of proven petrol diesel cars. And even though with electric cars, because of the efficiency, low cost of charging relative to the cost of fuel, cost of running is extremely low. The whole point is that a diesel is a diesel is a diesel. Nothing beats a diesel in that regard. And don't forget to check out this awesome car perfume for Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve 1 French Wood. Bye.